Quick. It is the 8th of April and it's about time I filmed my look ahead to April video. I would have done it like probably almost over a week ago by now, but been slightly waylaid by the Easter holidays and the Easter weekend. Today is Thursday. The kids are off school for the Easter break and we're going to go down to the Kent coast, grabbing some lunch on the way from McDonald's. So I thought this would be a good thing to integrate into my look ahead to April video, along with the things I'm just going to be sitting and chatting to you about. So we've got a bit of vloggy stuff, a bit of footage from the Easter weekend, a bit of dancing, and a bit of the Kent coast. Hello.
For better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. 7 years now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait. For our home to show on the horizon, soon we'll be there. Hold on.
Hello and welcome to this look ahead to April vlog. This is a vlog type video thing that I do every month, or have done every month this year so far. This is a little bit later in the month than I would normally release it, because I'd normally release it on the first or second day of the month, but it's the 10th of April today as I'm filming this with my crazy lockdown hair, because the hairdresser's open next week from Monday, so I'm going to try and get in and get my hair sorted out then. And I washed it last night, so it's all poofy. But this is a chatty little video where I talk about my plans and things that I want to be thinking about in the month ahead, and just share with you things like, yeah, just general chatty thoughts about April, really. And I'm going to put a bit of vlog footage in before this, so you would have seen probably some footage from Easter and a little trip out we had to the seaside, and a little bit of vlog footage to finish off as well. And of course, I'm going to put in now, as I'm talking, view watch for April. So I take a little piece of video every month of the field opposite our house to see how it changes throughout the year. So I'm putting that over me now as I am talking. And at some point I'm going to have to work out how to do a comparison over the last 4 months and put them all together. Or that, you know, as the months pass, I'd like to do that. So I'm going to work that out. But I'm going to stop blethering on right now and let's get stuck into some of the things that I am going to be doing in April. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was my tracker. I've been doing this every month of 2021 so far, and I've changed it every single month as well. It's kind of like a tracker that you would ordinarily see in a bullet journal. It's in my little lobster book. It's got my Instagram name on there, Starry Eyes Ali, and the name of my channel, my knitting and crochet channel, which is Little Drops of Wonderful, which has been sorely neglected as well. I really need to film a podcast. In fact, I'm all ready to film a podcast. I've just got to find the time and somewhere to do it, because I would normally film it in here in my bedroom, but really there is nowhere in here at the moment I can set up. So, and a lot of my stuff is packed away. Anyway, that's not a discussion for now. So I keep tracking here of books that I'm reading and habit trackers basically. So the books that I'm reading looks like this. I've just done a very basic stack of books drawing, and every time I finish one I write the name of it, I give it stars out of 6, and I colour the book in. Now I finished The Salt Path some time ago and I haven't coloured it in yet. Can you see that stain? One of the kids managed to drop something on a page and it soaked through about 6 pages. So I'm hoping when I come to colour it, it will just disappear. It'll add to the look of ageing old book. I don't mind stuff like that because it just reminds me of what my life is like. You know, I live a family life. It can be quite chaotic. There are kids involved and, you know, I don't mind. So I've finished The Salt Path. I'm now reading The Valley of Horses. I've also this month been listening to lots of audiobooks. I've really discovered them recently. I stopped my Audible account about a month or so ago, and I had a load of credits to use up. So I bought a load of books to use my credits up that I thought looked interesting, and there was quite a lot of autobiographies. So I started off with Tom Allen, who's a British comedian, No Shame. And I loved it. I couldn't stop listening to it. So I started putting it on if I was walking somewhere, like to the post office, or if I was just cleaning the kitchen or doing the washing up, because the dishwasher's broken, just to add to the chaos. And I loved it so much. I listened to it in a couple of weeks. So then I listened to a couple of other ones. I've just finished Who Am I Again by another British comedian, but a lot more long-running British comedian, Lenny Henry. It was so good. I really enjoyed listening to it. It's only part of his life. It's only up to like just before he really broke into sort of mainstream in the 80s when he started getting involved with comic relief and things like that. But it's funny because I grew up watching Lenny Henry and his voice is familiar to me as someone in my own family. So it felt like being told a story by someone I know really well. But of course I know nothing about him really. He also grew up in a part of the country where my sister lives. So he grew up in Dudley in the West Midlands, and so he does quite a lot of accents and stuff, which I really enjoy. And he does Jamaican accents as well throughout because his family were from Jamaica. And yeah, I really enjoyed listening to it. I was really sort of sad when it ended. It felt like it ended too soon. So I think he's intending to release another autobiography. Anyway, I'm just saying all this in case it's of interest to you, because you might enjoy it too. And I've just started now Becoming by Michelle Obama, which was a bit of a culture shock because I'm moving from listening to Lenny Henry, who's such a familiar voice, to Michelle Obama, whose voice I really didn't know at all, and going from sort of West Midlands accent to American accent, male to female, it just felt like so completely different. Like for the first sort of half an hour I was like, I'm not sure what's happening, culture shock. But now I've kind of got into it and I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm just past chapter 2 now. I was listening to it as I was doing the washing up just before I came up to film. How did I get onto audiobooks? Oh yeah, because I was talking about tracking. So I tracked in January and no, I didn't track in January. I started tracking I started tracking in February, and I used what I learnt doing that to go forward into March. So this is my March tracker, all completed. I got some really lovely pastel highlighter pens from the pound shop, and I really enjoyed doing it. And I just did little square highlighting things, but I didn't like doing that. I didn't like it. It kind of baffled my brain a bit, but looking at it now, I like how it looks all finished. I can have a good sense of days where I've achieved certain habits or not, and I find it very easy to look at. So I'm wondering if one of the things I want to start doing is, instead of leaving sections blank where I haven't achieved a habit, whether I should maybe colour them in grey or continue to leave them blank. I think I might continue to leave them blank. Anyway, the things I track are whether or not I get 7 hours of sleep or more the night before, what exercise I'm doing. This is something I found particularly helpful because I can see the gaps between exercise. So if I see, oh my goodness, it's been 4 days since I've done any exercise, I know that usually it's only 1 or 2 days. I know that I'm not quite on track for how I would normally be behaving, and I know then to alter that behaviour or that habit for the better. I track whether or not I spend 30 minutes outside a day or not. I track my mood. Drawing practice and creating time, whether or not I have 5 a day, 2 litres of water, whether I'm a vegetarian, eat a vegetarian or pescatarian diet on a particular day. I'm neither of those things, but I find it interesting to see how many days of the month actually I end up not eating meat. Whether or not I drink alcohol, and whether I make it into bed by 11:15 p.m. every night, and I track my anxiety as well. Anxiety is pretty much there every single day at the moment. And then I changed it a bit for April. So this is my April tracker. I've done a little doodle. I don't do anything fancy. I just literally do a little doodle whilst I'm watching telly or something and set it up. And this time I decided to do circles instead of squares, which I am enjoying a lot more. I find it visually easier to process in my head. I don't know why. And I've just changed it round a bit so that it's sat a little bit better with how I track things throughout the day, because for example when I wake up I know how much sleep I've had, but I don't really know what my mood is. So the mood might as well be at the end of the list when I've got to the end of the day and I can reflect on how I've felt that day, along with anxiety. And I'm still tracking whether or not I get creative time and drawing time and so on. And I have a key for what type of exercise I do along the bottom, whether it's a HIIT workout, a walk, a swim, yoga or a bike ride. So that's working really well. I'm really enjoying doing it. I find that it does encourage me to do things. I'm not doing as well in April as I have during March. I found that exercise during March was a big feature, and I've only exercised once so far in the last 10 days. So I really do need to start thinking about getting back into that, and I can see that. I can't trick myself into thinking, no, you've been fine, because I can see it on paper. So I find this really, really handy exercise, and I'll be continuing to do this with my £1 Poundland pastel highlighters throughout April. Something that's not working so well for me is my almanac journal. Now I love this book, it's this one. I get the same author, Leah Leendertz, does an actual almanac, which I get, this is the 3rd year I've got it, and I love it. I absolutely love the almanac. However, the almanac journal, which is designed for you to fill out yourself, I'm finding I'm not using as much. It's something to do with the way it's set out. You have to kind of go and hunt through it to find the things that you want to log. So I think I'm going to try and keep filling this out. Oops, it's my little rain tracker thing falling out. I'm going to continue to try and fill as much of it out as I can. Just try to flick through it every day and see if anything is jumping out at me as something I can add to. But I think it has inspired me to maybe next year think about doing a kind of almanac journal of my own, and it would probably take the form of more of a nature diary, which I can track things as they happen rather than flicking backwards and forwards into sections and so on. I find that quite difficult, and I'm not sure how much I'm really going to use it, which is a real shame, but I'm going to keep trying because it does force me to pay attention on our walks and pay attention to look out for things in nature, which is something I really wanted to be more mindful of this year. So in that respect, it's really good. I'm still using it to track rainfall, which I really enjoy. Every Friday or Saturday I go out and I check my rain gauge at the bottom of the garden and I write the rainfall in. I'm enjoying doing that, and I would like to get a wind monitor as well, maybe a proper little miniature electronic weather station. And I'd really like to be recording the minimum and maximum temperatures every week, but I don't know how to do that without a weather station. So yeah, I need to look into that a bit more. So yeah, not so successful for me so far this, but I'm not giving up on it yet. Something that is working really well for me still is this book, and this has been a real surprise. It's Everyday Nature by Andy Beer, and it's every day of the year. So it goes through from January 1st to December 31st. There is a nature fact or piece of information or something to learn or a flower, bird or other nature thing to look out for. And he tells you about it. And in fact, let me read you the entry for today to give you a kind of example. So 10th of April. 10th of April, holly blue. Here is a good reason to leave some ivy among the trees or on a sunny wall. Even in the heart of a city, you have a good chance of seeing a holly blue. Frequenter of gardens and churchyards. The reason is that ivy together with holly provides the main food plant for the caterpillars of the holly blue. For me, this is invariably the first blue butterfly of the year. It is a silvery azure blue, often seen flying high above you. If you can get close enough to see the closed wings, you will see that the silver blue is adorned by a delicate array of black spots. So this entry happens to be about butterfly. Other ones might be about a tradition, or a bird, or a plant, or a flower, or a vegetable, or an insect, or many, many things. And not only that, but it's funny. There is humour in this book, and there is insight, and it's actually offering me a lot more than I had originally thought it would. So this has been a huge success, and I know that I'm going to look forward to reading this every year and reminding myself, because by the time the year's up, I'm not going to remember what I read on January the 1st. So I'll enjoy discovering it again every year. It has been fantastic. And already some of the things that I've come across, like flowers to look out for in the hedgerows, I've managed to spot on my walks and be able to go, aha, I know what that is. So yeah, I am loving this book, and I will continue to use it throughout April. Something else we're going to be doing this month is planting. And that reminds me that I haven't brought my little thing that I wanted to show you up the stairs. So I'm just going to go and grab it. But before I do, I want to show you this. I got this from Ruby and Bo on Etsy. They're a UK-based company. I just found them when I was looking for fun Easter things for the girls. So there you go, Ruby and Bo. If I can, I'll put a little link to their shop underneath, just because I thought this was a really cool thing. This little bag is compostable, and I bought, for not very much, 12 plantable wildflower paper seed eggs. They look like this. I've only got 10 here because I gave 2 to my mum on Easter Sunday. Yeah, so this is what they look like. And you plant them in compost and they grow wildflowers, and then you can plant them out wherever you want to in the garden. So this is going to be a really fun activity to do with the girls. I think they're really going to enjoy that. I actually hid these all around my mum's bungalow on Easter Sunday and they had to go and find them. So that was quite a fun half hour. And we're looking forward to doing that and attracting some more bees and insects to our garden. And along with these, I want to tell you a little bit about what we intend to plant this month. Or probably towards the end of the month, beginning of May. But I just wanted to show you where, at a starting point. Right, I've just run down the stairs and back up again, so now I'm all out of breath, to get my seed box. Now, oh dear, it's really dusty. Really dusty. It lives by the back door, basically, because it looks nice. So it sits on the step by the back door, my seed box. I can't remember if I got this on Etsy, on eBay or Amazon. Honestly can't remember. It came a little bit bashed, but it wasn't expensive, and honestly I love it. It's a nice, it's got a little handle on it, very dusty handle. Oh, and it's not done up, so it's going to come undone, and you get lots of room inside for all your seeds. There's some compartments and everything. So this is where I keep all our seeds. We had quite a lot of success last year with tomatoes. We also had a lot of success with lettuce and with chamomile. Now, chamomile is something I want to grow a lot more of in the garden this year, because it's one of the things we've used the most throughout the winter months, because I harvested all of the flowers. Let me just get my seed packet. So this is the one I planted. Yeah, I harvested all of the flowers throughout the summer, and I put them just inside the big cupboard we've got under the stairs to let them dry out. And then when they were dry, I moved them to a jar, and I just kept doing that. And the more I picked, the more flowers grew, and the bees loved it. It smelt gorgeous. It was a lovely ritual that I did every sort of few days, every week, and I just loved it. So I want to grow a lot more of those plants, because I've been drinking that chamomile tea all through the winter months, and I find it so beneficial for my mood. I've given it as gifts to people, and I've got quite a few seeds left in here, so I'm definitely going to try and get all these planted this year and try and have chamomile all over the garden. So that's something that's definitely going to be grown this year. I've got all kinds of herbs and so on to plant. They're not my favourite thing to grow though, herbs. Only because quite often we don't use as much as we grow, and the plants can just go to seed, and I find it a little bit, I don't know, a little bit of a boring thing to grow. I'm probably in the minority there. What else have I got? I've got some cress, chives and sorrel. I've never grown sorrel, maybe we'll give that a go. And the lettuce that we grew last year that was absolutely brilliant. Okay, so we started off with just a leaf salad lettuce mix for pots, which was this one, and this was great. We got a lot of lettuce out of this, and I'm probably going to grow this again this year. And then this one I bought later in the season, and it was brilliant. It's a cut and come again one, and it's mixed salad leaves, and we were using this up until the end of September. So I want to plant a lot more salad this year, because when we have it growing in the garden, we eat tons of it. It's one of the things I take pleasure in the summer, and there isn't a lot about summer I take pleasure in, is going outside to the garden to cut salad for dinner. Something else we thoroughly enjoyed growing last year, and we're going to grow more of this year, was giant sunflowers, because they're so easy to grow. We've got a really sunny wall at the bottom of our garden, and then once they'd gone over, we cut down the seed heads, put them on the floor, and then use the binoculars to watch squirrels eat them. So we'll definitely grow some more giant sunflowers this year. Especially now we know the wall that they really like to grow, because we planted a few along one of the side fences as well, but they just didn't do very well. So we know that if we want them to grow big and strong and sunny, it needs to be on that back wall at the bottom of the garden. Okay, now we've got the new things that we haven't grown before. So first of all, I bought a flower seed. Stock Night Scented it's called, by Johnson's. Very easy to grow with a delightful evening fragrance. So I thought this might be nice either in the flower bed next to our new garden sofa, or in pots maybe, or just scattered around the garden, just to add some interest. So that's something we're going to plant. For the first time, we're going to try and grow cucumbers. Actually, that's a lie. We have tried cucumbers before and successfully managed to grow 2 before it got something like powdery mildew and then just died. So we're going to give it another go this year. So I've got some cucumber. I've got in particular Burpless Tasty Green F1. What that means I don't know, but we can plant them anytime from February to June and harvest them from July to October. So cucumbers also on the menu. We also had enormous success, possibly one of the easiest things I've ever grown in my life, using some seeds my mum gave me last year, spring onions. We just pop them in a pot, wait for quite a while and pick them. Fantastic. So I got my own packet. We're going to plant the lot and just eat them throughout the summer. Yeah, these were really easy to grow. Really, really good fun. And I just love the way they're in a pot and they just look like spring onions. And you're like, oh my goodness, it's a spring onion. It's magic. We also want to try radish. So not only have I got my own radish seeds that I went out and bought, but I've also got some seeds that were a gift from our lovely friend Annette in Denmark. So we've got 2 types to grow. One is Scarlet Globe and the other one is Celesta F1. So we're going to give radishes a go. We all love radishes. I really love them. It was one of the things I was really addicted to when I was pregnant with Phoebe. So yeah, we're going to give that a go. And the girls really enjoy radishes as well. And Dan wishes to try and grow beetroot. So that's another thing we're going to try. And now, along with all of these, we are also going to be growing our... I give up, it's not going to focus. Yeah, we're also going to be growing our trusty tomatoes. I don't know why I forgot the word tomato then. It's because I was looking at carrot seeds and thinking, will we try to grow carrots again this year? We did grow some last year and they were really nice, but they didn't grow very big. Maybe we'll try again. So last year we had a lot of tomato plants and did brilliantly all summer. We planted Gardener's Delight which we weren't so keen on. They grew really well. They were really pest resistant. We had no problems at all with pests on our tomatoes. So we might grow them another year, but this year I think we're going to go with the one that we had the absolute most success with, and that was the tumbling toms, because you can grow them in the baskets all around the bottom of the garden, the top of the garden. You can grow them in just pots on the ground. For some reason my camera is having problems focusing on me. Maybe it's the hair is putting it off. So yeah, we've got a few different tumbling toms to try this year to keep the tomato, because they tend to grow fast and keep coming, and right up until I think we were still picking them in October. So we're definitely going to be doing those again this year. So that is the plan so far. I'm sure we'll add things as we go. I also want to get some proper planting going in the flower beds. We're going to be putting up a couple of arbours, get the grapes growing a bit more healthy, and just get some, hopefully some things in the borders with some height to sort of make the garden feel a bit more private. One more final thing that I wanted to talk about, for something I want to do in April, and it's also something I want to make a little video about, is I want to pluck up the courage to get out into the open and do some sketching outside in public. I often draw from, I'll sit in the garden and draw a structure or building or something in the garden. When we were on holiday I did a lot of sketches of the house and the pool cover and so on, just sitting sketching what I could see rather than working from a picture, which I tend to do when I want to sketch a building. Is I'll take a picture, go home and work on it there. But I would like to get out, and in particular I have one particular place in mind, and that is a place very near to where we live. It's called Hall Place, and it is a Tudor building. Well, part of the building is a Tudor building, and it's been added to over the years, and gardens as well. And it would be ideal maybe on a weekday when most people will be working or at school to maybe go and sit on a bench or on a picnic blanket and draw part of that building. I do feel nervous about it because, you know, I don't want to be approached by people who want to see what I'm drawing and might look at it and go, okay, might regret coming up to see it. So it's just about finding the courage to do it and be able to, you know, not worry about what people think and so on. So I've got my little sketchbook here. I've been using this. This is my non-precious sketchbook, which is working really well for me. So I recently, for example, did a page in the garden. I sat outside and sketched the outbuildings. It's not very good. It was just to get me warmed back up again because I've not sketched in a while. And I did a bit of writing about how I was feeling that day. It was a really unseasonably warm day, which made me feel very down and depressed. So I wanted to draw as a way of dealing with it, and I found it extremely helpful. And I've not really used drawing and art as therapy in that way. I've always used crochet and knitting things, but I found this incredibly helpful. So I definitely want to head out sometime during April and film a little vlog about getting out into the open and doing some sketching. Right, I think that's enough yabbering on for me. I think we'll finish off with a little bit of vloggy content, and hopefully you'll have enjoyed this little chat, okay, long chat about my plans and things I'm thinking about for April. Obviously I've got a lot more things I want to read and do and so on, but I'm hoping to get now back into filming my once a week video, because up until this week I've been releasing a video every week, or up until March I should say, because then I was releasing a video every day, and then I've had my week off. So I'm hoping to get back into releasing a video every week. So I've got a bedroom vlog coming up. I want a video about getting out and sketching outdoors, and I've got all kinds of things I want to share with you along the way. And if you've got any ideas or requests underneath, just let me know in the comments, because I always love to hear from you. Oh, and I also want to do some vlogs about surviving summer as well, and I'm going to be using some of the comments that you have very helpfully left about that as well. I've just got to think about how to put it all together. Okay, I said I was going to shut up, and I shall, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.
Can't read the sky.